Welcome.
Yeah. Welcome to the party.
Awesome. Thanks for being here.
Could you kind of maybe just describe how this process came together for you?
Yeah, Nebraska's always been a special place to me. My brother played here, and then obviously in state a little bit. Being from Indianola, Iowa, it's just right across the way a little bit. The tradition and the history of this place is unbelievable. But the coaching staff here was a huge piece of interest for me. Will Bolt and I played against each other, and obviously have recruited against each other. Been at numerous events for 10 plus years. And you talk about Will Bolt, you talk about Lance Harvell and Rob Childress. The staff is unbelievable, as you guys know. Very similar backgrounds, very similar personalities, and recruiting philosophies and coaching philosophies. So it's a no-brainer for my family and I. Super excited about the opportunity to work with such great people, and that's the biggest priority for me and my family. And the similarities that we have. And so this kind of came about just our relationships of recruiting the same players year in and year out.
Not to make things like too terribly, dramatic, but kind of like on a presidential note, what's your first 100 days look like here? What do you need to get done in the first 3 months?
Absolutely. Recruiting, obviously a huge piece, the roster, filling in the needs and the blanks of what Coach Bolt and the staff have already put together, and working very closely with the other coaches as to our immediate needs. But that recruiting piece is essential, and Coach Bolt will talk about it numerous times, as you guys probably know. But we're going to be out on the road and obviously working through the junior college and the transfer portal, getting the best talent in here we possibly can.
You mentioned recruiting and all that. I know places are different, schools are different, so you can appeal to different types of recruits. But do you have a generic message to recruits when you want to get them to a school bad?
Absolutely. The coaching staff here is unbelievable. You talk about who's at the leaders in our program and who we get to work with every day. Guys that want to be here, and guys that want to get after it and compete. Those are essential. And then obviously the connections we have in this part of the United States is big. And so super excited about the opportunity to be here at the University of Nebraska.
You're going to be working with hitters. Did kind of your school thought kind of line up with Will and Lance and kind of the way
for sure
they do things?
For sure. And that's, we're all cut from the same cloth, and we all have very similar backgrounds from the hitting side, from the defensive side. And so we've gone hand in hand for years, obviously in different colored uniforms and competing against each other. So it's a pleasure to be able to work with them because we're very similar in all of our beliefs.
How would you describe your coaching style? Are you intense? Are you more of a laid-back guy? Can you kind of describe that?
You always got to have fun, but you always got to compete. And so guys that are competing and getting after it every day, you can go to war with those guys every day. And so you got to show up and get those guys in the right position to show up and compete every day. But the biggest thing, you got to enjoy the process to compete and enjoy the process to win baseball games.
What's your sense from the outside of where this program has been, maybe what it needs to take that next step?
Man, what about the history of this place? It's unbelievable, and what Coach Bolt has done in his short time here and what we can do in the future. Such an exciting, challenge for all of us, but the sky's the limit for this place, man. The sky's the limit. Get back, win the Big Ten and go into regionals in Omaha, man. That's what it needs to be doing, and that's what we plan to do.
You have a knack for recruiting. Why do you like recruiting?
Man, getting a chance to find good talent, getting a chance to work with them every day and build them. That was me, 20 years ago, getting recruited and learning who I was and learning who I wanted to be. That was me. And so getting the opportunity to give it back to kids nowadays is what you do it for, and so getting the opportunity to build these kids up and make them successful in life and whatever they decide to do, that's 100% why I like to do it.
What are some of the fundamental pieces or fundamental things you do to build relationships and kind of establish that trust with the kids?
Yeah, open communication, trusting, and hard work. Big things, showing my ability to be consistent, to see them, consistent to communicate with them, and know that they're going to get the honest truth from me is essential for me in my recruiting philosophies.
From a talent perspective, when you're looking at guys, what are you looking for? Are there certain measurables that stand out?
Speed and strength. Speed and strength with athleticism is a priority. And I know that's the same for Coach Bolt and Coach Harvell. And then obviously, arm talent is essential. Being athletic on the mound, having some arm strength, and some competitiveness. And I know you've probably heard those things before, but being able to throw a secondary pitch for a strike, those are all priorities. But we need some arms in here and some competitors and speed and strength. And I know they've done a great job in their time here, and I just want to add to it and be a piece of the puzzle for them.
From a hitting perspective, are you more old school batting average on base? Are you new age analytics, OPS?
I think you got to have a blend. I think you've got to have a blend of all of it in today's world, because you can't just go up there and strike out every time and hit a homer every time. But so there's got to be a blend of everything. And I know Coach Bolt's done an unbelievable job, and Coach Harvell have done an unbelievable job. And I just want to be a piece of it and help and be involved and work hand in hand with them. But I think there's got to be a blend of old and new.
Who are kind of some mentors that maybe helped you throughout your coaching career? I mean, who do you kind of...
Man, I've looked up to Will Bolt for a long time. I have. I've looked up to Will Bolt, obviously, his career path and my career path. I've tried to follow him very closely, and I've looked up to him and obviously watched him recruit and learned a lot from him. So he's been a huge piece of it. Coach Harvell and I, we've had a long relationship for years and working together. And obviously Coach Childress, what those guys have done has been really, really influential in me. And some of the guys that I've worked with have been huge pieces for me, whether it be Brent Chemnitz, Todd Butler, pieces like that. They've been very important in my life too.
What is it about how Coach Bolt goes about his business that really appeals to you?
Man, just consistency, work ethic, and being able to be trusted. He's going to work at it. He's going to show up every day, and he's going to find good players, and he's going to coach them, and he's going to coach them hard. And that's why I wanted, have the opportunity to come join him and get this program, going and keep it going and join an unbelievable staff like this.
Do you have a sense of what some of your other duties would be, whether coaching a base or scouting opponents or things like that?
We haven't really even got into that. Right now, our priority's been recruiting, and so been here just a short amount of time, and so our main priority has been recruiting. And so as long as I'm with good guys like we are here, I'm excited to be a part of it and keep getting this program going.
What would you say is like the number one thing that you learned from your past job?
Man, number one thing, consistency, showing up and being the same guy every day is a priority to me. But then your work ethic, and some of those characteristics that are important with, honesty and trustworthiness and integrity, things like that. Those are priorities for me, so that your kids can trust you, and obviously the people you work with, they know that you're going to be the same guy every day.
So you've been recruiting. Can you kind of just describe? I mean, how busy have you been? You've been around the country. You've been on multiple flights. What's it been?
No. Well, obviously getting hired here and going through the HR process there, you got to take your time and do what you can do legally. But obviously just communicating with Coach Harvell, Coach Bolt, and Coach Childress as to what the needs are, and giving phone numbers, talking about guys that I was currently recruiting where I was and in the process of. And so it's just been very open dialogue with the other coaches as to what the needs are in the communication lines.
Thanks, Coach.